Hi, welcome to Sexy is Timeless Talk. Ladies, are you single? If so, you don't want to miss this show because we are going to talk about boys today. I am Luisa Diaz, author and founder of Luisa Diaz Foundation, which is a celebration of kindness coming to you from Manhattan, New York. Now, let me introduce to you my fabulous friends and co-hosts.
Hi, everybody. I'm Samantha Bessudo-Drucker. I'm your lifestyle genie, and I'm coming to you from sunny Hollywood Beach, Florida. And I have some news really quickly. Yesterday, I had my fitness fantasy come true. I got to have a conversation with Bob Harvey of The Biggest Loser. That's like my dream come true to be on that show, even though I know I'm not fat enough, but wow, I would love to be starved. But I would love to be like tortured and like starved and just eat lettuce for like a month with, Bob torturing me every day. That would be like so fabulous. Anyway, I got that conversation yesterday as a part of AstraZeneca's Survivors Have Heart initiative, and I got to tell my story with him, and I will tell you more about that very soon. So you're just going to have to keep tuning in on Wednesdays.
Wonderful, wonderful. Delaina.
Hey everyone, it's Delaina Dixon, editor-in-chief of DivaGalsDaily.com. I'm down here in Grovetown, Georgia, and I'm the single gal on the panel.
Yes, you are. But before we go to our diva talk, all about boys and dating and virtual dating, because we have so much to catch up. So, let me ask you something, Samantha. Are you saying that you're going to be at that show, at the Biggest Loser?
No, I'm not going to be on the show. I'm not quite heavy enough.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You cannot be there. Okay.
But the pharmaceutical company, AstraZeneca, along with Bob Harper, who's the trainer for The Biggest Loser, he himself had a heart attack very recently. And so he's teamed up with the pharmaceutical company to do their Survivors Have Heart initiative. So out of thousands of applicants across the country, they selected me with a couple other people to tell our survivors' story. And since heart attacks are the #1 killer of women, it's really been, part of my life's outreach work to try to raise awareness and support research for cures.
I think that's great because, sometimes you might think because you are young, you are in your 20s, or your 30s, or your 40s, and you might think, oh, that's not going to happen to me, but it does happen. It doesn't matter the age.
It can happen anytime. It happened to me.
Yeah.
Anytime. It happened to me at 41, and it happened to Bob Harvey, who's like the epitome of fitness. So if it can happen to him, truly it can happen to anybody. So we have to eat, breathe, sleep, move, find exercise that we love, eat well, take care of ourselves. Like in your book, Luisa, self-care is so important.
And we will definitely talk more about in another show about this, because it's extremely important to give that information out there to all our audience, to all our fabulous friends who are watching us. But now let's go to our Diva Chat and let's talk about boys. And as we ladies, you already know, and gentlemen who are watching, I am married for 3 years now. And Samantha is married as well. For 2 years, right, Samantha? Almost 3.
Almost.
So our single girl here, our single diva here is Delaina. So Delaina, let me start with you. I want you to really share with us, how is your dating going right now? Are you virtual dating? Are you on, what is the website that you are using? What is the experience? Please share with us.
Well, yes. So we're in the middle of a pandemic, if you haven't noticed. And it's a little bit harder to date now. Dating is always difficult, but really difficult when you have to think about all these social distancing things you have to take to date. So I have been dating. On our website, divagalsdaily.com, we actually started Find a Husband in 90 Days Quarantine Edition. And it's fantastic because our dating expert just happens to be my lovely co-star, Samantha. And she's been giving some great advice on how to date in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes.
Using online sites, being introduced to people, which is amazing. I am going on video dates. I am doing a lot of phone calls and texting. And I have tried to actually meet people social distance, but there were some really interesting reasons why they wouldn't meet me. So
I wanted to hear that, but let me ask you. So what is the time frame when you start talking to someone online and that you say, hey, I think that would be great if I tell you more about this in person. So is it 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month? What is it?
Samantha, I'm going to throw it to you because you're the expert.
No, but before I go with Samantha, but let me ask you, what are you doing right now? Like, do you do it like in a week? Do you meet the person in a week?
Right. In normal circumstances, I would say after 3 or 4 emails or a phone call, you meet the person. Now it's a little bit more complicated. I'm just taking time to talk to people, and I would say it's been about maybe 2 months because I'm in Georgia. Some of the people I'm talking to are in New York. Some of the people I'm talking to are in New Orleans. Some of the people I'm talking to are in Florida. Thank you, Samantha. So, right now, trying to plan to actually meet them. Usually I would hop on a plane and be like, where are we going to meet? What bar? Yeah. I'll see you there. But it's taking about 2 months to plan the logistics to actually meet somebody.
What about you, Samantha? What would you think? What would you think that would be ideal when you start already talking with someone?
Well, ideally, sooner is better than later.
Yeah.
Having said that, I feel like each individual relationship is different. Some people, after 2, 3 emails and a phone call, you plan a date for the next week. But we are in the midst of a pandemic. Travel is difficult. Sometimes the person that maybe it's a long distance thing where they live in Boston, you live in New York, but the shuttle, they're in business in New York, they go back and forth every week. That's a manageable relationship in normal circumstances. So, but I feel like if you are talking on the phone or video chatting together, and it goes more than a month when he hasn't reached out to make an appointment to meet you and made the effort to meet you in person, move on.
That's waste of time. My opinion, I think is I will give only 1 week of texting, and this person's supposed to call me. It should be calling me. It must call me. Otherwise, I will not waste my time to be talking and texting. I don't know. I just find it.
It took 3 weeks. It took Jeffrey and I like 3 weeks to actually meet in person from the time we first made contact, because he had like a week trip in the middle to Boston. Which made
I think it is the sooner the better. Totally.
The sooner the better.
But if you're me, you have to understand me. I'm usually the one who holds back. I'm not like, oh, yeah, we've had 2 texts, let's meet. Like, I'm like, I will say in the past, I'm a long-term person. Like, I'm like, oh, do I really want to get dressed? Do I want to actually get on the subway and go?
Wait a minute. I'm going to go deep down here. So why are you trying to self-sabotage yourself?
Correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Well, I think for a while, and it's so interesting, I was listening to some morning motivation this morning. And one of the things that it said with relationships is that you have to self-heal first, right? Yeah. So I came out of a relationship and it was a really sudden thing to end. And I realized that I had developed feelings that were much stronger than anybody expected. So it took a while for me to get to a point where I felt like I was comfortable moving forward and saying, I can leave this in the past and move forward to the future.
Yeah.
And I tried to jump right into it. Like, the person was like, I don't want to be bothered with you anymore. And the next day I was like, I have to find a husband. And it just didn't work. I was meeting people and I was coming up with excuses not to see them again. So it took almost 2 years for me to get to a point where I'm like, now I'm ready mentally to meet somebody else and build a relationship with this person.
So I know that you really went through the ringer with your last relationship, and it's been a little while, and I know you've had some time to heal. But let me just say, if finding a husband is truly on the top of your to-do list, then just like you are committed to your fitness program and you're working out, then it's a priority to get dressed to interview a candidate for being your husband. And by the way,
I agree.
Gentlemen, ladies who are listening in the audience, Luisa and I are currently accepting applications for viable candidates for Delaina. So if you have an uncle, a brother, a cousin, a grandfather, somebody that you think that would be appropriate for this superstar here.
No grandfather, please. No grandfather.
You can let us know.
If he's a handsome grandfather.
Well, yeah, if it's the right grandfather.
Right?
My mother would say as long as he's vertical. So.
I hear you, Delaina, you were hurt. And usually when we are all humans and we get hurt in a relationship, it is difficult, to try to open up again to a new person. But we have to, we need to be, I am a romantic and I believe in love. So yes, open up and remember vulnerability is sexy. I know we sometimes we do not want to be vulnerable because we are strong or we are the go girl, but we need to. If we really want to find that special someone, we need to be vulnerable. But let's talk about worst date. Delaina, tell me about your worst date ever.
Oh my goodness. Where can I begin? I've had some really
only one, please. We don't have too much time.
I feel so sad and bad saying this. But there was a young man who approached me on the train and basically said, "Oh, I'd love to take you out." And I was like, "Well, if you can find me on social media, you can go out with me." And he did. So I met him at a restaurant, but maybe he had worked out before the date or something. It was very obvious he had not showered.
Oh.
So it was really, and he's trying to lean in and I'm leaning back and I'm just like, I felt so bad for him because he was trying to be so earnest. And it turned out we didn't have a lot in common as we were talking. But I just felt so bad for him because I was like, I wanted to be like, dude, you got to shower before a date.
Yes. Oh my God. What about you, Samantha? That's horrible. That's like, I run. What about you, Samantha?
The worst date I ever had was when I was writing my original series for Diva Gals Daily for Delaina's magazine, 90 Days to Husband Number 2, which is the series through which I met Jeffrey. However, having said that, before meeting Jeffrey, I had the worst date of my life. So he said, let's meet for a coffee. Meet me uptown. So first of all, I'm like, can't you, I'm like, okay, I'll go uptown, whatever. Okay, I go uptown. Do I get a coffee? No. Does his dog pee on my Chanel pumps? Yes.
Oh,
and then he has the nerve to try to steal a kiss. We haven't even had a conversation. Your dog just peed on my favorite Chanel stilettos, and I still have no coffee. There's really, like, the waste to get uptown and get dressed. That was my worst date ever.
Oh my God, that's funny. Well, ladies, when I was living in LA, I can share with you that I remember, like, one of my worst dates is this guy, very successful, and he really likes me, and he sent me this beautiful flowers, and he asked me to go to a date, but it was something about him I didn't like. So I kind of didn't want to go out with him, but he was so persistent. So I said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to go and have lunch with him. So, and he sent me flowers and all this. And so, and he's dressed well, very presentable. But he has this thing that he cannot keep eye contact. He's looking. Like, this guy that with you that you are looking, I don't like that because hello. Hello. This doesn't give you attention. What are you doing in my way? So it's like, so he was like looking and on the phone. And I just get up, and I left him at the restaurant. And then he was texting me and all this, and never, ever, ever text him back. It's like so respectful. My time is worthy. I respect myself. I am worthy. So, hello, pay attention.
Pay attention, man.
Yeah, pay attention. So that was one of the worst days. So let's talk about Delaina, darling. What exactly are you looking for in a guy?
Yes, let's get in your case.
Yes, I'm going to put you in the spot. What are you looking for?
I am not in the hot seat at all today.
No.
Yeah,
because you are the single girl here. But
yeah.
I don't want you to tell me only what you're looking for a date, like, just have a little romance. What are you looking for a husband, a man that you see it will be your husband? What is that you're looking for?
Well, I will say that I've watched the two of you with your fabulous husbands. I've observed. And one of the things that I noticed is that you guys make great partnerships with the men you've chosen. You guys are like partners in crime, and you support each other on the different projects and dreams and goals that you each have.
Yes.
So ideally, I would love to find somebody who could be my partner in crime.
Oh, I love that.
That I can be a cheerleader and a rah-rah girl for all the things that are important in their life, and they would do in turn for mine. And of course, we'd find something in the middle that we would want to build an empire together.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say somebody that I communicate with really easily. Words, I always say words are my passion as a writer. So someone who can use their words to express themselves.
Well, darling, let me tell you this.
Yes.
Okay. Someone who communicates very easily. I'm sorry to disappoint you. That's not going to happen.
Oh, really?
Because men, with men, we are the ones who are easy in communication, but unfortunately, it doesn't mean that men doesn't love you. It's that the way that they communicate is so much different than we do. And sometimes we wanted to speak about so many different things and explain it. And they see things different, So then we need to understand and respect the way they communicate as well. And we're not trying to change them. So this is something that I have learned with my husband as well. Yes. So because I like to communicate, I like to speak my mind, I like to say what I feel and what I don't feel. My husband, in the other hand, he is a little bit more reserved. And so I need to learn what is the best way of communication for both of us. And we figured it out in the relationship. And it's great. It's great, and it's not going to be easy, but that's what I make a relationship work.
Ongoing process.
Yes.
Ongoing process, it's work. To your point, Delaina, and to Luis's point, yes, men communicate differently than women. And it is an ongoing process to discover how your particular man communicates. But going back to what Delaina said about observing how Alan and Jeffrey are with us as partners, when I got together with Jeffrey, talking about what men are looking for in a woman, Jeffrey told me that one of the things that attracted him to me was that he always wanted a woman that he could do business with, and that he always wanted a woman that made him feel like he had a home life, especially after his mother passed. I'm not telling you that you should be your husband's mother. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get it twisted. I'm saying that every man needs to eat regularly, and every man needs like a feeling of warmth when they come home from the office, when they come home from doing battle in business. They need to come home to an environment that is like an oasis to them, that men need that. And they need regular meals, unlike women. We can eat lettuce forever.
Well, I agree with you, but I am not so much in that focus. Thank God. Thank God. I do cook, and I cook very well. My husband loves my cooking.
But your home is lovely, and you make him feel great.
Yes, when I cook, but it's not, some men, like my husband, he's okay if I cook. My husband loves going out. So he loves going out. So it's everybody's different. Everybody's different. It's just you finding that balance. What is good for you? You know what?
But my point is not the food. It's not about the food. It's about the feeling that you give, Louisa. And I know that when Alan comes home from work, he enters your apartment, and I know, because I've been in your apartment, that it has a lovely feeling. And part of the lovely feeling is the feeling that you, Louisa, bring to that environment. You have made his apartment feel like a home, and men need that.
Yeah, and one of the things that my husband says every time, he said, baby, I love coming home because I know you are here. And he said, I love coming home and knowing that you are here. But let's talk about Delaina, darling.
You see, I keep moving around. I'm like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You are in the hot spot. So we talk about what are you looking for, right? So Delaina, were you saying that you want to get married like right now? Will you ask someone? Or is it appropriate? Let's ask Samantha. Samantha, what are the appropriate questions to ask a guy that you want, that you see as a prospect husband?
So I'm so glad that you asked me this question, because in the quarantine video series I did, 90 Days to Husband #2, quarantine edition, I have videos that talk about exactly these things. What is the difference between looking for a boyfriend and looking for a husband? Because the criteria can be very different. And two, about communications and dating in quarantine so that you can date and meet in person safely, socially distanced. And I really believe that, you know, even better than the internet, even though, you know, everybody's on the internet, and so you should be, and I give some techniques for that, but your sphere of influence, your friends, your family, your close coworkers, these are people that know you. And somebody that knows you is going to be able to discern if they might know anybody in their sphere who is appropriate for you.
For you.
And so I feel like before you get on the internet, call everybody you know. Call your friends, call your family, call, you know, close coworkers and say, hey, do you have a brother, cousin, friend, workout buddies, you know, business partner, uncle, that might be appropriate for me? Yeah. This is what I'm looking for. And I've asked Delaina to get very clear, like write it out, what you're looking for. Because when you tend to be
important, sorry to interrupt you, we are out of time right now.
It's part of manifestation.
It's very, very important to know exactly what are you looking for, because you do not know what you're looking for, how you're going to find it, right? Exactly. So, but before we go, very quick, please, what are the turn off in a relationship or in a dating? Like, I know for you, Samantha, is extremely important table manners, social graces.
If he has no table manners, no sense of etiquette, I cannot take him home to my mother or my family or anybody that I know. Nor could I bear to look at him while he eats. So manners, men.
Manners matter. Manners matter. Guys, I'm sorry, but do manners matter? And one of the things as well is I am very, and this is, I think it comes from my mother as well. If I cannot see when someone is eating, you know, like you can see, oh, I'm sorry. Ugh. No, it is, I have to turn down my, you know, like my food a little, so I cannot see it, I'm sorry. And yeah, it's a turn off. Please, I'm sorry. Delaina, you?
Don't be sorry. Gentlemen, go take an etiquette class if you haven't learned how to eat.
Yes, it's important. You know, one of the things I love, one of the things I really, really love is when a man is a gentleman and the man is really knows how to order one, knows the, you know, table manners. That is to me is so sexy. Oh my God, there is someone at the door right now. So someone at the door right now. Can you believe it? Okay, ladies, we are over time. So thank you so much. Thank you for this show. And this was the three of us just talking about dating, about men. And remember, ladies, it is also about standards and boundaries and getting to know what you really want. Be kind to yourself and others. Besitos.